What if the first bank was not a grand stone building, but a table covered with coins, ledgers, and promises? The story of banking begins thousands of years before anyone used the word bank. In ancient Mesopotamia, temples and individuals stored wealth in grain, silver, and valuable goods. By the early second millennium BCE, merchants and temples were also making loans. Agreements were pressed into clay tablets in cuneiform, sometimes sealed inside clay envelopes. A trader could borrow silver for a journey, use it to buy goods, and repay the loan with an agreed return. The basic ideas of deposits, credit, records, and interest were already taking shape. But these were not banks in the modern sense. Banking developed slowly as trade became larger and more complicated. By the Middle Ages, Mediterranean ports were crowded with merchants carrying coins from many kingdoms. Money changers sat behind tables in busy markets, weighing coins, testing their metal, exchanging currencies, and arranging payments. In Barcelona, this system faced a serious problem. During the late 14th century, private banker failures damaged public trust. The crisis of 1381 showed how dangerous it could be when private bankers lent too much and could no longer repay depositors. Barcelona's leaders decided that the city needed something different. In 1400, the Consell de Cent, Barcelona's municipal government, approved a new public financial institution. On January 20, 1401, the Taula de Canvi began operating in the Locha de Mar, the city's great commercial exchange near the waterfront. Its name roughly meant table of exchange. The name sounded simple, but the idea was revolutionary. Unlike an ordinary private banker, the Taula was backed by the city. Citizens and institutions could place money there for safekeeping. It handled official and legal deposits, helped move money between accounts, and became closely connected with Barcelona's public finances. Deposits did not earn interest, and the institution's lending was directed toward the municipal authorities. Inside, clerks recorded deposits in large account books. Money did not always need to physically change hands. Entries in a ledger could transfer value from one account to another, making commerce faster and safer than carrying bags of coins through crowded streets. For merchants, trust was everything. A ship might disappear for months. A payment could involve several currencies. A failed banker could destroy years of savings. A public bank offered something powerful, the promise that the city itself stood behind the account books. The experiment worked well enough to influence the financial world around it. Similar public banking institutions appeared elsewhere in the Crown of Aragon. Then, in 1407, another famous institution emerged in Genoa, the Bank of St. George. Created largely to organize the Republic's public debt, it became one of Europe's oldest chartered banks and is sometimes described as an early model of the modern public bank. So which institution was truly the first bank? There is no single perfect answer. Ancient Mesopotamians practiced lending, deposits, and accounting thousands of years earlier. Medieval private bankers had already built international financial networks. But Barcelona's Taula de Canvi stands out as one of history's earliest public banks and is widely described as the first public bank in Europe. The most important invention was not the building, the coins, or even the ledger. It was organized trust. Banking turned a promise into something that could travel farther than a person, survive longer than a voyage, and connect strangers across cities and seas. Every time money moves through an account today, part of that very old idea remains. Wealth depends not only on what we possess, but on whom we trust to remember what is owed. If you enjoy stories like this, please follow for more hidden history and untold stories from around the world.